So we're off to meet Mark Ruefenacht. I think that's how you say his name. We'll find out in a moment. Ruefenacht. He's the founder of Dogs4Diabetes, and he is over here in Australia setting up the program here, and I am very excited to meet him. We are going to go interview Mark to find out a bit more about him, how he manages his diabetes, and also more about the Dogs4Diabetes program. I'm Jack, I'm a diabetic, and this is a diabetic interview. I must say, I'm a little bit nervous about this.
Hi, Annie.
So,
Good.
first of all, I need to know how to pronounce your last name, because I've been reading it and I haven't actually heard it pronounced anywhere. So, Mark, may I give a shot?
Yeah, please.
I like that.
Ruefenacht?
You're very close. So it's Ruefenacht.
Ruefenacht.
Yes, it's a Swiss name. I'm from a Swiss family. And after we get into this a little bit further, I'll actually give you the Swiss interpretation of it.
Okay.
Because I think you're going to find it interesting.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Alright, well, with that, let's start the interview. I've got my cheat sheet. I'm here with Mark Ruefenacht, the founder of Dogs4Diabetics. Who are you? Where are you from? And I guess, while we're at it, what do you do?
Okay. So I am from Concord, California, which is the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm a native there, and I've had diabetes since I was late 20s. I was actually kind of a late bloomer, which is actually when I found out a lot of people are late bloomers when I got into the diabetes community. So it's not so unusual. But I've been living with the diabetes on a variation of different methods in that. But my background is actually I'm in forensics. So
Wow.
I've
So
worked in that for a long time.
yeah.
And I'm basically at the if you want to say, kind of the top of the chain in the U.S. on that. So I work in Washington, D.C. most of the time, and I commute back and forth between San Francisco and Washington, D.C., which is a 6-hour flight.
That sounds like a lot of flying.
Yes, that's a lot of flying.
Let's throw back to when you were diagnosed in the late 20s.
Yes.
How was that experience of being diagnosed?
For many people, it's very dramatic. It's a hospitalization. It's all those types of things. For me, it was less dramatic. Type 1 runs in my family, so one day I woke up and I was doing the typical symptoms of being very thirsty, needing to urinate a lot, all those types of things. I was not as big of a guy as what I am now. So that went on for 2 days. I went to the doctor and said, I think I've got diabetes. And the first thing they said is, well, it's probably just type 2 diabetes. We'll give you some pills. This should take care of it. And within a few days, we realized that it was more than just type 2 diabetes because the pills weren't working. And so then I got onto an insulin regimen and got myself going. And so that's basically how my diagnosis went. It was very uneventful for me. Where a lot of people, their diagnosis, they remember the day, they remember the moment, they remember everything. I can remember the doctor, I can't remember the day. So it was very uneventful. I had been around it in my life before, and I had also seen the devastating effects it had on other family members. I think it was more eventful for my parents to see one of their kids get diagnosed with it, knowing all of the different things that can happen with diabetes. And I started being fairly proactive, and one of the things that I did, and I'm quite a bit younger than you, you're quite a bit younger than me, is that back in that time, we just had glucometers. It took 2 minutes to get a blood test, okay, and you had to drain a half a pint of blood to get it. But at least we weren't just peeing on ketone strips, which was the step before. And so we did that, but I also realized that the likelihood of me going blind was going to be pretty high and having other complications, and it would probably shorten my life. Now, I don't believe any of that today. We have new technology, we have dogs, we have all those things that make me believe otherwise. But at the time, I told myself that I wanted to get involved with guide dogs for the blind and start training.
So that was back in your 20s?
That was a little bit after that, but yes. I wanted to pay forward to an organization that I figured would provide me a guide dog at one point. thinking I would go blind from the disease and I would have all the other complications that they scared you with.
Yeah, talk about proactive.
Yeah, I'm a proactive guy. But yeah, even though it's proactive, you know what? Living with it is completely different.
It is.
Right.
And I find that it's also about finding what management style fits best in your life.
That's right. And everybody's different.
Everyone's different. So that brings me to my next question.
Okay.
How do you manage your diabetes? I know it's a pretty open question, but I'd love to hear about what products are you using and how you manage with diabetes.
Okay. So let me also go back to the previous question and say, when I was diagnosed, there was no internet.
That's true. That
Right?
made it tough.
I couldn't go out and research this. What I started with on management and what I'm doing now, you know, there's a wide gap in there. But my daily management with diabetes is I do have a Metronic pump. I've been on the Metronic pump now for 8 or more years. I don't remember exactly what it is. Yeah, there are drawbacks to it. I think the biggest thing for me psychologically was, and why I took a little bit longer to adopt the pump, is I psychologically had this thing about being hooked up to a machine.
Yeah.
That was a big deal for me.
Mm.
It made me feel old, it made me feel sick, it made me feel judged, whatever you want to say. All those things came together, but all the benefits that came out of it, I mean, it only took a month for me to say, oh my gosh, this pump changed my life. I'm also on the Dexcom continuous glucose monitor. I think it's an outstanding monitor. I'm very happy with that. It actually reports to my phone. So I've got it set up with my phone.
Yeah, that's great.
And it works great because other people can connect with my phone, and I can have 5 people who are also getting my blood sugars. Why did I go into a CGM? Because I was having so many low blood sugar episodes. And the longer you have diabetes, the less you can feel the sensations of low blood sugar. And so the last call was basically I was making an international flight. I remembered coming in from over the water and seeing Miami and thinking, oh, we've made landfall. And the next thing I knew, I had paramedics on me in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, man.
So everything felt fine, you know, but we realized that it was time for a CGM.
Yep.
And so I've been using a CGM for about 3 years now. And like I said, I'm thrilled with the Dexcom CGM. I'm thrilled with the Metronic pump. I also supplement with insulin pens. So occasionally, I'm a big guy, so insulin takes longer to get through me. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'll supplement an injection with my insulin pen. And so I carry insulin pens as well too, which I have to do traveling in case there's a problem with the pump or something anyway. And my management now is pretty good. I have a lot of low blood sugar problems, but management is good.
Management is good. And that's the Dexcom and which pump was it?
It's the Metronic. I'm on the 670G, I think it is.
670G.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I guess a part of the management, when you do hypo, do you have a preferred hypo snack?
I do like Starburst or something like that, and here's why. I can't stand them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to eat a single more than what I have to eat.
So that once again keeps you...
Exactly. Versus giving me something that I'm going to really enjoy and, you know, just sit there. Because when you're low, what do you end up doing? You know, you end up just snacking, and then you're fighting a high.
Yep, and then you're on the roller coaster ride.
And it's a roller coaster for the next 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you for reaching out to me, letting me interview you. And I have got, from all the diabetics from Australia, I'd like to give you this.
What is this?
As a gift. So this is a Pinot Noir from the Yarra Valley.
Which I think that my colleagues were visiting yesterday. Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Not the best for diabetes, but it is meant to be enjoyed. Also, here's an Australian treat, which I know you like your Starburst, but I can't let you go without having a pack of Tim Tams.
I have heard the name, but I've never tried them before.
So they are...
It says there's no substitute.
They are very addictive, so make sure you're sharing them.
All right.
Yeah, that roller coaster ride will do. So anyway,
yeah, thank you.
Thank you for everything, for all your work that you've done with diabetics, and for letting me interview you. Mark is an amazing guy. He is probably my newfound hero in the world of diabetes. He alone created Diabetic Alert Dogs, or at least the program that creates Diabetic Alert Dogs. And he was the founder of Dogs4Diabetics. All links down below. I'll be publishing more of this interview on my channel in the coming weeks. So do subscribe. Show this video a like if you got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.